We butchered roosters today. We weren't planning on this, but they had to go. Roosters are obnoxious. They were mean, they were fighting each other, they were chasing the hens around in not so pretty ways, and they had to go. It was either butcher them and put them in the freezer or stew chickens, because they don't have a whole lot of meat on them, but they make some really great bone broth. Chicken broth. And it was either that, or we take them to the local animal auction and get like $1 a piece for them. Hannah hatched some eggs in March. She hatched 30 chicks. If you remember way back then, I think we did a video on it. I know we did a video on it. And she wanted to do this, and they had been living in the horse trailer. The horse trailer is now our chick brooder, animal keeper, and they have all escaped. They found their way out. They've outgrown the space, and they were running amok all over the place. We butchered 14 roosters. The rest were hens, and they are now in the refrigerator, cooling off, letting all that rigor mortis work its way out. So with chickens, you have to keep them in the refrigerator for a day or two before you put them in the freezer, or the meat will be really, really tough. We learned that the hard way. And so these are not going to be like our meat birds. Like I said, they are going to be stew chickens, like Joel Salatin calls them. And those are going to be for stew. So any kind of meat that's left on it, we're not going to, bank on having a whole meal from it, but we'll be able to pull any kind of meat off of it, make some chicken dumplings, or make a soup or something with that chicken, more for the broth of it. We saved the feet. The feet got clipped off, took that outer layer off. We'll use that for some bone broth. We'll really appreciate that come winter. For the last couple years, butchering chickens has always been a whirlwind event, and this year we were like, wow, we're actually prepared for it. So we purchased a Camp Chef couple months ago for canning, and that was a huge help in processing our chickens. So all we had to do was heat that puppy up, and we had one water bath going so that we could dip the chickens in, heat their feathers, so that we could pull the feathers. Our chicken plucker is not working. Brooke built a chicken plucker years ago when we first started out of an old washing machine. And those little plucker fingers cost about $150 just to get those pieces to hand make a chicken plucker. Nowadays you can find them anywhere. You can find them all over the internet. And last night I was looking up chicken pluckers on Tractor Supply, and they were a little bit more than we wanted to spend, but we did find a really good deal. And that chicken plucker isn't going to be here till next weekend, so we had to hand pluck all those roosters by hand, which is 14 of us, 14 of the chickens, and it didn't take too long. It was just kind of stinky and a little laborious, and so they didn't get fully cleaned. As you can see, there's still some feathers in there, but everything's going to get straightened out in the broth.
Joint?
Yeah.
It's okay if there's some in there. Mine aren't super clean.
Hannah, you.
I need the clippers.
So you see the joint there? Let's go right in between the two joints, okay?
Here we go. One. No.
So hand plucking wasn't really that big of a deal when we only had 14 chickens. We have 50 meat birds right now as chicks right here in this horse trailer. That's like our brooder until they're big enough to put out on pasture. It's really not a big deal. All we do is heat our water to 180, right babe? 180? 180. So 180 using that Camp Chef. And prior to that, we would just use a single burner camping equipment hooked up to a propane tank down here. The Camp Chef makes it so much easier. And we could actually get, so when we do our meat birds, we probably have 2 water baths going at the same time, so we can do more birds and do it a lot faster. This, we were culling them, meaning we were slitting throats and letting them bleed out, and then we would put them in cold water or just hose water just to soak their feathers. That's really important. Soak their feathers and then put them in that 180-degree water. Dip them in, that loosens the feathers and we can easily pluck them out. So it takes a little bit longer, but when you only have a few birds to do, you can easily do it in no time. If you are doing more birds, like 50 or more, having a chicken plucker on hand is way more convenient. Have bags on hand too. We never have bags in hand when we do this. We're usually running out to the store like, crap, we forgot bags. We need to go get bags. It's nothing fancy. We don't do any of the shrink wrap stuff. It's just Ziploc bags. When we do meat birds, we always get the 2-gallon bags because those birds are a lot bigger and they don't fit in the 1-gallon bags. So these were perfectly fine.